This story doesn't begin with glory. It doesn't begin with money. It begins with a small house, in a struggling city, inside a country recovering from pain. It begins with a child named Ma Yun, who the world would one day know as Jack Ma. Cloud with Rain Scene 1. A nation in turmoil. It was 1964. China wasn't the China you see today. It was a land trying to heal. From chaos, political tension, and the Cultural Revolution. Families were scared to dream. People were afraid to speak. Poverty wasn't a phase. It was a lifestyle. And in the middle of all this, a little boy with sharp eyes and a fragile body opened his eyes for the first time. He didn't know it yet, but the world had no place prepared for him. Candle Scene 2. A home with love, but no wealth. Jack's parents were traditional musicians. They played instruments at tea houses to earn a few coins. The pay was low. The nights were long. Meals were simple. Money was always short. But his parents' hearts were rich. They told stories. They recited poetry. They filled young Jack's ears with imagination. Jack wasn't surrounded by money. He was surrounded by creativity. It wasn't luxury, but it was magic in its own way. Palms Up Together Scene 3. A child too small for the world. Jack was tiny, physically weak. People compared him to other children, stronger, taller, smarter. But Jack had something no one else had. A strange, unstoppable curiosity. He would sit for hours watching birds fly and ask questions adults didn't understand. He wasn't loud. He wasn't gifted. He wasn't special in the way society defines special. But he had a spark that looked like daydreaming to others, but in reality, it was destiny waking up. Book Scene 4. School, his first battlefield. Jack entered school, and it became his first enemy. He failed again and again. Teachers thought he was lazy. Students made fun of him. His handwriting was messy. His math was terrible. His grades were embarrassing. Every exam felt like a war he wasn't ready for. One day, after another failure, a teacher looked at him and said, "Jack, students like you rarely succeed." Most children break after hearing this. But Jack, he went home, sat alone, and whispered to himself, "Maybe I'm not smart today, but one day, the world will call me valuable." He didn't know how. He didn't know when. But something deep inside him refused to surrender. Dove Scene 5. The English Obsession. Something happened that changed his life. Tourists started visiting Hangzhou. Foreigners. People who spoke a different language, dressed differently, thought differently. Little Jack was fascinated. He wanted to talk to them. He wanted to understand them. He wanted to learn from them. So, every morning, not sometimes, not on weekends, every single morning, he would wake up at 5 a.m., jump on his broken bicycle, and ride to the Hangzhou Hotel. For 9 straight years, he guided tourists for free. No money. No reward. Just learning. Every sentence he heard, every new word he learned, every accent he absorbed, built the foundation of the man he would become. He wasn't learning English. He was learning confidence. He was learning global thinking. He was learning the world. Sunrise over Mountain Scene 6. The boy who saw beyond his city. One tourist family befriended him. They admired his hunger to learn. They gave him the nickname Jack. That single act, that tiny moment, became the seed of a brand the entire world would one day call Jack Ma. You see, destiny works quietly. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And Jack listened. He didn't just learn English. He learned how big the world was, how many opportunities existed, how far a human mind could travel, even if the body stayed in one place. Broken Heart Scene 7. The harsh reality. But every night when Jack returned home, the world reminded him of his limitations. Teachers still doubted him. Exams still defeated him. Society still dismissed him. The world saw a skinny kid with no talent. But inside that kid, a fire was burning. Sometimes silently, sometimes painfully, but always fiercely. Jack was born with nothing. He had no special talent, no privilege, no support. He failed constantly. He was rejected repeatedly. He was underestimated naturally. But he had one thing the world could not take away. A dream. A small dream. A fragile dream. A dream he didn't even understand fully. But it was there. Growing. Breathing. Waiting to explode. And this was only the beginning. There are people who succeed because life opens doors for them. And then there are people like Jack Ma, who succeed because every door was slammed shut in their face, and yet they kept knocking. Jack's journey from childhood into teenage years wasn't filled with medals, awards, or appreciation. It was filled with failures. So many failures that any ordinary person would have accepted defeat. But Jack Ma was not ordinary. New Moon Scene 1. School becomes a war zone. As Jack entered middle school, something became painfully clear. He wasn't smart in the traditional sense. He wasn't quick at memorizing. His reading was slow. His writing was messy. And math was his biggest enemy. Every exam result felt like a verdict on his future. He failed primary school twice. He failed middle school entrance exams 3 times. He failed college entrance exams twice. Every time results were announced, children celebrated. Teachers smiled. Parents hugged their kids. And Jack? He walked home silently, staring at the ground, trying to hide the storm in his eyes. But inside him, a small voice whispered. He was learning something more important than academics. He was learning resilience. Wilted Flower Scene 2. Teachers had given up on him. Teachers often pulled Jack aside. Some said he was slow. Some said he was unfocused. Some said he would never amount to anything. One teacher even told him, "Jack, if you keep going like this, you will struggle all your life." Imagine hearing this as a child. Imagine being labeled as hopeless. But instead of breaking, Jack used their doubt as fuel. He decided something powerful. If the world says I cannot, I will spend my life proving that I can. Cloud with Rain Scene 3. The storm inside the home. Jack's family wasn't wealthy. There were no extra resources for tutors, expensive books, or special classes. His parents were kind, but they were tired. Life had been hard for them. Sometimes they told Jack to be practical, to stop dreaming, to accept his limits. But Jack refused. His heart wasn't meant for smallness. He felt something inside him, a sensation he couldn't explain, like he was chosen for something big, even if the world couldn't see it yet. Bicycle Scene 4. The Bicycle of Destiny. Every day, early in the morning, Jack pedaled his bicycle to the Hangzhou Hotel to meet tourists. Remember, this was not a fun hobby. This was a training camp. Talking to foreigners taught him something no school ever taught. Confidence, communication, courage, the ability to stand tall even when you feel small. He learned English not from books, but from conversations. He learned about the world not from teachers, but from people. Those moments shaped his mind. They made him realize China was just one corner of a giant planet, and he wanted to explore every inch of it. Broken Heart Scene 5. A heartbreaking exam result. One day, Jack took an important exam. He tried his best. He studied day and night. He prayed for something different this time. But when the results came, he scored 1 out of 120 in mathematics. The room fell silent. Classmates snickered. Teachers shook their heads. His family worried he might never succeed in life. But Jack did not cry. He did not collapse. He simply said, "Math is not my future, but something else is." This sentence, this mindset, this refusal to let failure define him, that was the spark of a billionaire. Fire Scene 6. A fire that refused to die. Most people give up after a few failures. Jack failed in dozens of exams. He was rejected by teachers, friends, society, and later, by almost every company he applied to. But his failures made him stronger. They made him hungry. They made him fearless. They made him unstoppable. Jack Ma would one day say, "Failing is not a problem. Giving up is the problem." But this wisdom didn't come easily. It came from pain, from shame, from working harder than everyone else just to stay in the race. Graduation cap scene 7. The unexpected victory. After countless attempts, endless struggle, and unbearable pressure, Jack finally passed the college entrance exam. He didn't enter a top university. He didn't become a genius overnight. He simply earned a seat at Hangzhou Teachers College. And that was enough. Because for Jack Ma, this wasn't just admission. It was a message from destiny. You're not done yet. Glowing star scene 8. Becoming an English teacher. Jack graduated and became an English teacher. He earned $12 a month. But he loved his job. He wasn't just teaching students English. He was teaching them how to believe in themselves. He told them, "Do not let anyone tell you what you cannot become." He was speaking from experience. He was teaching them the lesson the world never taught him. And those who knew him then felt a strange energy around him. An energy that whispered, "This man is destined for something extraordinary." Jack Ma failed more than anyone around him, yet rose higher than all of them, because he understood one truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the blueprint of success. And with this mindset, Jack stepped into the next chapter of his journey. A chapter where every door would close, just so he could learn how to build his own. There comes a time in every great person's life when destiny stops giving hints and starts giving tests. For Jack Ma, this test had one name: rejection. Not once, not twice, not 10 times, but dozens and dozens and dozens of times. This is the chapter where Jack Ma learned a truth the world tries to hide. The world does not reward the person who never falls. It rewards the person who never stops standing. Cloud with Rain Scene 1, Graduation Day, a fragile hope. After years of failures, countless exam attempts, and a journey that tested his spirit, Jack finally graduated. He thought, now life will get better. Now doors will open. But destiny smiled, because destiny had other plans. Jack was excited, hopeful, desperate to start earning money to support his family. So he began applying for jobs. Little did he know that this chapter of his life would break him more than any exam ever could. Door Scene 2, the first door that closed. Jack applied for a job at a hotel. He prepared his shirt, combed his hair, practiced his English. He walked in with hope. He walked out with rejection. They didn't hire him. They told him, "We need someone more suitable." This was just the beginning. Door Scene 3. The second, third, fourth door. Jack applied to multiple companies. Everywhere he went, he heard the same words. No. Not fit. We'll call you. We found someone better. Weeks turned into months. Rejection stacked up like heavy stones on his chest. His family began to worry. His friends had already moved ahead. Society whispered, maybe he's just not capable. But Jack wasn't broken. Not yet. Broken Heart Scene 4, the KFC incident. This is the rejection the world still laughs at. A KFC branch opened in Hangzhou. 24 people applied. 23 got hired. The only person rejected? Jack Ma. Imagine that moment. Imagine standing there while everyone else gets selected. Imagine the humiliation, the confusion, the stab in the heart. But Jack smiled and said softly, maybe something else is waiting for me. That sentence, that mindset, that strength, this is what makes legends. Tornado Scene 5, police, post office, hotels, restaurants. Jack applied everywhere. Police job? Rejected. Post office job? Rejected. Waiter job? Rejected. Even as a cashier, people refused him. At this point, Jack's rejection list was longer than most people's CVs. His friends joked about it. Some pitied him. Some ignored him. But Jack kept going. Because deep down, he believed a secret. Rejections are redirections. Brick Scene 6, the Harvard Dream. Jack applied to Harvard University. Not once. Not twice. But 10 times. Rejected. 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 10 times. But listen to what he said later. Harvard taught me something without accepting me. If they don't want me, That doesn't stop me from wanting more. This is not normal thinking. This is warrior thinking. New Moon Scene 7. The darkness between hope. Jack's rejections weren't just about jobs. They were about identity. Every rejection told him, "You are not good enough. You are not smart enough. You are not strong enough." Sometimes late at night, Jack would sit alone and think, "Am I really this useless? Is something wrong with me?" He was human. He felt pain. He felt fear. He felt uncertainty. But every time he hit the bottom, he found strength no one expected. He would stand up, look at himself in the mirror, and say, "You can reject me, but you cannot defeat me." Fire Scene 8. The Teacher Within. Unable to find a proper job, Jack became a school English teacher. His salary? $12 a month. But he made something more important. A name. He didn't teach English like a subject. He taught it like a life philosophy. His students adored him because he was the teacher who never gave up. He told them, "If I can stand here today after being rejected so many times, you can stand anywhere." Jack wasn't just teaching students. He was preparing himself. He was building leadership. He was building communication. He was building courage. These skills would later build Alibaba. Some Behind Small Clouds Scene 9. The Hope That Returned Softly. Life wasn't easy. But Jack never stopped moving. Every rejection taught him something. Every closed door pushed him toward a new path. Every humiliation sharpened his vision. He began to realize, the world is not rejecting me. The world is preparing me. Jack Ma faced more rejections than most people face in an entire lifetime. But he learned one thing. Rejection is not failure. Rejection is education. The world said no to Jack Ma hundreds of times. But instead of breaking him, it shaped him, prepared him, hardened him, forged him like steel. Because legends are not born through success. They are born through storms. And Jack's biggest storm was about to become his greatest breakthrough. How a single trip changed the destiny of a nation and a man. Glow Showing America's Scene 1. A Journey to the Unknown. In 1995, Jack Ma was 31 years old. By this time, he had already faced decades of failure, from exams, jobs, and constant societal rejection. He had endured humiliation that would have broken most people. But Jack was still curious, still hungry, still refusing to surrender. He traveled to the United States as a translator for a small delegation of Chinese officials. This was a trip he almost didn't take, a trip funded by minimal means, with no glamour, no support, just a one-way ticket to the unknown. Little did he know, this trip would change everything. Laptop Computer Scene 2, the first encounter with the internet. In Seattle, Jack experienced something that felt like magic, the internet. He typed beer into the search engine, and he saw beer from all over the world. German beer, Japanese beer, American beer, but not a single product from China. He looked at the screen and thought, wait, my country doesn't exist online? 1 billion people and nothing? He felt a strange mix of shock, fear, and inspiration. If China doesn't get online, it will be left behind forever. And I will make sure that doesn't happen. This was more than an idea. It was a mission. It was a calling. Fire Scene 3. The Vision Ignites. Jack returned to China with a vision burning in his chest. China must enter the internet era. Small businesses must have a platform to reach the world. Ordinary people must have opportunities beyond borders. But there were challenges. China's internet infrastructure was almost non-existent. Investors didn't understand his idea. Technology experts laughed at him. People said, Jack, you're crazy. You don't know coding. You don't know computers. You don't know business. But Jack smiled, because he knew one truth that would carry him forward. You don't need to know everything. You just need to believe enough to start. Seedling Scene 4, Planting the Seed, China Yellow Pages. Jack founded China Yellow Pages, the country's first attempt at an online directory. He traveled to small businesses, shops, and local companies. He tried to convince them, put your business online. The world is changing. Most laughed at him. Some mocked him openly. Some threatened to call the police. He failed. Repeatedly. Money was almost gone. The project barely survived. But here's the key. Failure was not defeat. Each no taught him how to pitch better, how to understand business owners, how to communicate clearly, how to survive in a system that wanted him to fail. Every rejection became a stepping stone for Alibaba, which would emerge just a few years later. Office Building Scene 5, From Failure to Persistence. China Yellow Pages was far from a success. In fact, it was a humiliating failure. But Jack refused to quit. He realized, the world may not be ready yet, but the future is. He gathered 18 trusted friends in his small apartment. No fancy office. No computers for everyone. No investor money. Just belief, passion, and vision. He said to them, we will build a platform for China. We will create something no one has seen. And one day, the world will notice us. Lightbulb Scene 6. The Birth of a Dream, Alibaba. From that small apartment, Alibaba was born. The team worked long hours. Coded, strategized, marketed with almost zero resources. Faced endless skepticism. Jack had no guarantee, no safety net, no assurance they would succeed. But they had one thing stronger than money. Belief in the impossible. Jack's mantra became, you don't need to be the smartest. You just need to be persistent and fearless. Waterwave Scene 7. A storm approaches. While Alibaba was taking shape, the business world laughed. China is too poor. The internet will never work here. Jack Ma is a dreamer wasting time. Even investors who later funded him hesitated at first. His own team sometimes questioned him. But Jack's vision was unshakable. He saw a world beyond the limitations that everyone else accepted. He didn't see problems. He saw possibilities. The internet is a tool to empower people, not just businesses. Glowing Star Scene 8, The Power of Belief. Jack Ma's trip to America had changed him forever. He learned that vision was more important than experience. That courage mattered more than capital. That persistence mattered more than talent. He realized that a small group of people with a big dream could change a nation. And with this vision, Alibaba slowly grew. From zero to something unimaginable. But the path was not yet easy. Challenges, failures, and rejection would continue, even after the internet had been discovered. Jack's journey was just accelerating. The storm was coming, and he was ready. Jack Ma had failed so many times. He had been rejected by jobs, universities, and society. Yet one trip to the United States, one encounter with the internet, had ignited a fire that no failure could extinguish. This chapter teaches us, curiosity can change destiny. Exposure can change talent or connections. It starts with belief in the impossible. And this was just the beginning. The real battle, the creation of Alibaba and the rise against global giants, was coming next. Glowing Star Scene 1. The Humble Beginning. After Jack Ma returned from his life-changing trip to the United States, he realized something crucial. I cannot do this alone. Technology was not his strength. He didn't know coding deeply. He didn't have money. He didn't have investors who believed in him. But he had people. People who shared his vision. People who believed in him even when the world laughed. So Jack gathered 18 friends in his small apartment in Hangzhou. The room was cramped. The furniture old and broken. Computers few and outdated. Yet there was fire in the room. Every person there carried a single thought. We will do something the world has never seen. House Scene 2. Living in the apartment. The apartment wasn't just a workspace. It was a war zone of dreams. They slept on the floor. They shared meals. They survived on minimal funds. Sometimes, Jack had to borrow money just to buy electricity for the computers. Friends and family thought they were crazy. Neighbors whispered, they'll never succeed. But Jack reminded them, it doesn't matter if others believe in us. We believe in ourselves, and that's all that matters. They laughed together, cried together, and sometimes fought. But every argument only sharpened their vision. Laptop computer scene 3. The birth of Alibaba. In that small apartment, they built the first version of Alibaba. It started as a simple platform for Chinese small businesses to connect with international buyers. Jack wrote mission statements on walls. The team coded relentlessly, often working 16 to 18 hours a day. They faced obstacles. Internet speed was slow. Businesses didn't understand the concept. Investors laughed at their idea. Jack would motivate them nightly. When the world says no, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It means the world isn't ready yet. Fire scene 4. Overcoming poverty together. Money was scarce. Employees often went unpaid. Bills stacked up. Sometimes they had to sell personal items just to pay server costs. Jack's leadership style became legendary. He didn't order people. He inspired them. He treated his friends as family. He reminded them of their shared dream. One night, after an especially grueling day of coding, Jack gathered the team and said, "This apartment is our battlefield. Every failure here is training. Every sleepless night is a seed for our victory." Seedling scene 5. A vision bigger than money. Jack's vision was not personal wealth. It was empowerment. He wanted small Chinese businesses to reach international markets, compete with global brands, lift themselves out of poverty. This purpose made the team unstoppable. Every rejection, every technical glitch, every skeptical business owner was just a challenge to overcome. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want, Jack said. And this philosophy became the foundation of Alibaba's culture. Waterwave scene 6. The first struggle. As the platform began to take shape, the first serious challenge arrived: getting businesses to trust the internet. Businesses were skeptical. Many refused to join. Some laughed openly at the idea. Jack didn't panic. Instead, he went door to door, explaining the future of e-commerce. The world is changing. If you want to survive, you must change too. Some said yes. Many said no. But every yes was a victory. Every small merchant they signed became a symbol of progress. Lightbulb scene 7. Leadership through example. Jack never asked his team to do anything he wouldn't do. He worked longer hours than anyone else. He often slept on the floor next to the servers. He ate the same meals as his employees. He motivated them by his actions, not just words. His energy became contagious. His vision became irresistible. And slowly, Alibaba started growing. High voltage scene 8. The first breakthrough. The first real breakthrough came when some international buyers started noticing Alibaba's platform. Orders started trickling in. Small businesses began selling online. Media began to pay attention. It wasn't massive yet. It wasn't perfect. But it was enough to prove the dream was possible. Jack gathered the team and said, "This is only the beginning. We are not here to make a company. We are here to change the world." Glowing star scene 9. The philosophy that carried them forward. Jack's mantra became the guiding light. Customer first. Employees second. Shareholders third. This unconventional philosophy would later shock the business world. It emphasized trust, loyalty, and purpose over immediate profits. In that small apartment, culture was born. Not from money, not from fancy offices, but from fire, belief, and shared struggle. From a tiny apartment with 18 friends, no money, and endless challenges, Jack Ma laid the foundation for a global empire. The world saw a crazy dreamer, but history remembers the leader who refused to surrender. This chapter teaches us: vision can overcome poverty. Belief can overcome ridicule. Commitment can overcome impossible odds. And the journey was just beginning. Next, Jack would face giants like eBay and Amazon and show the world what true courage looks like. How Jack Ma and his small team stood up to global giants and won against all odds. Tornado scene 1. The storm approaches. By the early 2000s, Alibaba was slowly growing. Hundreds of small businesses were joining the platform. Some international buyers started noticing the potential. Media began to pay attention. But just as the team began to feel hope, a storm hit. Global giants entered China. eBay, the multi-billion-dollar American company, came in with massive resources. Amazon also eyed the Chinese market. The message was clear. This small apartment team cannot compete with us. Jack Ma looked at his team and said, "They have money. We have our hearts. If we fight with purpose, they cannot beat us." Office building scene 2, a small company versus global titans. Imagine the scene. eBay had millions of dollars in funding, aggressive marketing, and years of experience. Alibaba had 18 friends in a small apartment, limited money, and a burning vision. The world expected Alibaba to collapse. But Jack believed something deeper. Big companies think like machines. Small companies think like humans. This philosophy would become their secret weapon. Fire Scene 3, Strategy Against the Odds. Jack did what few CEOs would dare. He ignored the idea of competing on money. He ignored conventional wisdom. He focused on understanding small Chinese businesses. Jack knew eBay treated sellers like numbers. Alibaba would treat sellers like family. He told his team, "We are not here to beat them at their game. We are here to play our game better than anyone else." And that mindset changed everything. Light bulb scene 4. Listening to the people. Jack spent countless hours visiting local shops, markets, and family businesses. He listened to their frustrations. He understood their dreams. He built Alibaba around their needs, not around technology or profit. This human-centered approach created a bond that eBay could never replicate. Jack explained to his team, "People don't want machines. They want someone who cares." High voltage scene 5, the power of culture. Alibaba's culture became a weapon. Employees worked harder than ever. Every decision focused on customers first. The small team was unified, loyal, and fearless. Meanwhile, eBay struggled with bureaucracy and rigidity. Decisions took weeks. Customers felt ignored. Sellers left in frustration. Jack's simple principle worked. Care more, fight harder, adapt faster. Waterwave Scene 6, the turning point. The moment of truth came when small sellers started leaving eBay for Alibaba. eBay's platform was complicated. Alibaba was user-friendly, supportive, and local. Sellers felt empowered. This small shift began a massive migration. One by one, eBay started losing its grip on China. Jack Ma celebrated not with luxury or ego, but quietly. Victory belongs to the people we serve, not the richest company. Trophy Scene 7. Lessons from the battle. Jack's triumph against global giants taught 3 timeless lessons. Heart can defeat money. Passion and human connection matter more than capital. Understand your people, know your customers better than your competitors do. Persistence beats power. Never underestimate small, consistent efforts. This wasn't just a business lesson. It was a life lesson for everyone facing giants in their own life. Sunrise over Mountains Scene 8, the first global recognition. After defeating eBay in China, the world began to notice. Alibaba became a model for small business empowerment. International media started covering Jack Ma. Investors, once skeptical, began to see him as a visionary. Jack humbly reminded his team, "The battle is won, but the war has just begun." This is just the first step of changing the world. From a small apartment to standing against billion-dollar global companies, Jack Ma proved. Vision can overcome money. Courage can overcome fear. Belief can overcome impossibility. The victory over giants wasn't just Alibaba's success. It was proof that determination, empathy, and relentless effort can topple even the most powerful forces. Jack Ma's journey was no longer just about survival. It was about changing the rules of the game. And the next chapter would see Alibaba expand, innovate, and revolutionize commerce globally, setting the stage for the empire we know today. Glowing Star Scene 1, from small wins to bigger dreams. After defeating eBay in China, Jack Ma and his team were energized. Alibaba was gaining the trust of small businesses. Sales were increasing steadily. Investors were beginning to pay attention. But Jack knew one thing. Victory over a giant is temporary. True success comes from empowering millions, not just defeating one competitor. He set his sights on a bigger vision, Taobao, a platform that would revolutionize shopping in China. Shopping cart scene 2. Understanding the market. Jack realized that Chinese consumers faced many challenges. Limited access to international products, lack of trust in online transactions, fear of scams. He told his team, "We don't just want to sell products. We want to build trust. We want to build a habit. We want to build a culture." Every decision for Taobao was customer-centered. Free listings for sellers. Escrow payment system to secure transactions. Easy-to-use interface for buyers. Jack's philosophy was clear. Empower sellers, delight customers, and the profits will follow. Fire Scene 3, starting from zero. Taobao was launched in 2003. Initially, it was met with skepticism. People doubted that Chinese consumers would shop online. Media questioned Jack Ma's sanity. But Jack didn't listen. He gathered his small, loyal team and reminded them, "Every empire begins with small steps. The world laughed at us before. It laughed at us again. And will laugh last." The team worked tirelessly, coding new features, marketing creatively, traveling across cities to convince small shop owners. Sleep, money, and comfort became secondary. Purpose and passion became primary. Seedling Scene 4, the fight against PayPal and eBay. Just as Taobao was growing, eBay returned to challenge them, this time with PayPal integration. Jack knew the odds were against him. eBay had global payment systems, massive funding, international experience. But Jack relied on a deep understanding of the local market. We will win not by copying them, but by understanding our people better than anyone else. Alibaba offered free services, better support, and localized solutions, unlike eBay's rigid system. Waterwave Scene 5, winning hearts of millions. Chinese consumers started trusting Taobao because payments were secure, customer service was personalized, sellers were treated as partners. This trust fueled growth. Millions of sellers joined. Millions of buyers shopped confidently. Word-of-mouth marketing spread faster than any ad campaign. Jack Ma often told his team, "Technology alone cannot win. Trust is the most powerful currency in business." Trophy Scene 6, the culture of innovation. Taobao's success was more than technology. It was culture. Employees were encouraged to take risks. Failures were celebrated as learning experiences. Creativity was rewarded. Customer-first thinking was mandatory. Jack's leadership philosophy. Employees first, customers second, shareholders third. Profit is a result, not a goal. This unconventional philosophy shocked global business leaders, but it worked spectacularly in China. Lightbulb Scene 7, turning small shops into global brands. Taobao empowered millions of small business owners. Women working from home could sell handmade goods. Rural entrepreneurs could reach international customers. Small shops could compete with big brands. Jack often said, "Our mission is not to make Alibaba rich. Our mission is to make China's small businesses rich." This philosophy became the driving force behind Alibaba's culture and long-term vision. Sunrise over Mountain Scene 8, recognition and growth. Taobao quickly overtook eBay in China. Alibaba became the largest e-commerce platform in China. Jack Ma was invited to international forums. Global media began calling him a visionary. Yet Jack remained humble. "I am not rich. I am not a genius. I am just a teacher who never gave up." His humility and vision inspired millions of entrepreneurs worldwide. Glow showing America's Scene 1, from local hero to global visionary. By the mid-2000s, Jack Ma had already conquered China. Taobao dominated the e-commerce market. Alibaba became a household name. Millions of small businesses were thriving. But Jack was not satisfied. He had a bigger dream. If we can help China's small businesses, why not the world? This mindset sparked Alibaba's international expansion. Jack realized that his vision had no borders. His goal, to connect small businesses from every corner of the globe to customers everywhere. Light bulb scene 2. Building bridges across borders. Jack traveled extensively. He visited the US, Europe, and other Asian markets. He met investors, business leaders, and policymakers. He learned how global commerce worked, how cross-border trade could thrive. He faced skepticism again. Alibaba is a Chinese company. How can it compete globally? But Jack replied, "We don't want to compete like others. We want to empower others, and in doing so, we will grow." His approach wasn't domination. It was collaboration. It wasn't arrogance. It was vision with humility. Office building scene 3. International platforms and partnerships. Jack led Alibaba to launch multiple international initiatives. Alibaba.com, connecting Chinese manufacturers with global buyers. Partnerships with international payment systems. Creating logistics networks to ensure products reached customers efficiently. Each step faced obstacles, regulatory challenges, cultural misunderstandings, technological hurdles. But Jack's persistence and empathy turned each obstacle into an opportunity. Every problem is a lesson. Every challenge is a chance to improve. Waterwave scene 4. The world notices Jack Ma. By now, global media began taking Jack seriously. Forbes listed him as one of the most influential business leaders. International conferences invited him as a keynote speaker. Media outlets described him as a visionary transforming global commerce. Yet Jack remained grounded. "I am not important. Alibaba is not about me. It is about the people we serve." His humility became part of his legend. Leaders around the world admired him, not just for his business success, but for his values, vision, and leadership philosophy. Fire scene 5. Facing global giants again. Expanding internationally meant competing with global giants like Amazon, eBay, Google, and other tech innovators. But Jack applied the same principles that worked in China. Understand the local market. Empower small businesses. Prioritize trust and human connection over sheer technology. The world watched in awe as Alibaba started to grow beyond China, proving that a company with heart, purpose, and vision could stand against the largest corporations in the world. Glowing Star Scene 6. The IPO that shook the world. In 2014, Alibaba went public on the New York Stock Exchange. It was the largest IPO in history at the time. Jack Ma became one of the most recognized faces in global business. The company's valuation shocked the world. But Jack did not let fame or money change him. Money is a tool. Purpose is what matters. He remained focused on helping small businesses thrive, believing that real success is measured by impact, not wealth. Seedling Scene 7. Philanthropy and global influence. Jack's influence wasn't limited to business. He invested in education, environmental causes, and entrepreneurship programs. He inspired millions of young people globally to dream bigger. He shared his failures as openly as his successes, teaching the world that setbacks are part of the journey. Jack said, "If we can create opportunity for others, we create a better world." This mindset turned him into a global symbol of hope, courage, and vision. Sunrise over Mountains Scene 8. Lessons for dreamers worldwide. Jack Ma's journey from a small apartment in Hangzhou to global recognition offers lessons for everyone. Persistence beats experience. Don't let lack of knowledge stop you. Empathy beats competition. Understanding people matters more than money. Vision beats fear. Dream bigger than the obstacles. Failure is the teacher. Every rejection prepares you for greater success. Through Alibaba, Jack Ma proved that one man's. Jack Ma's journey shows that global influence is not just about money, power, or fame. It's about empowering others, staying humble, persisting through failures, dreaming bigger than the world tells you. From a boy who failed countless exams to a man who shook the world of commerce, Jack Ma became a living example of resilience, vision, and hope. Glowing Star Scene 1. Beyond business. The heart of a dreamer. By this stage in his life, Jack Ma had accomplished what most would consider impossible. Built Alibaba from scratch. Defeated global giants. Transformed millions of lives. Yet, Jack's greatest strength was not wealth or fame. It was his personal philosophy, his way of seeing the world, and his unshakable mindset. He often said, "Success is not measured by money or power. It's measured by how many people you help." This became the guiding principle of everything he did: business, philanthropy, and life itself. Lightbulb Scene 2, Embracing Failure. Jack Ma never shied away from talking about his failures. Failed exams as a child. Rejected by every job he applied for. Harvard rejected him 10 times. KFC refused him. Yet he turned failure into fuel. He told young entrepreneurs, "You should learn from your failures. They are the best teachers. If you have never failed, you have never tried." Jack's philosophy. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Fire Scene 3. The Importance of Vision. Jack Ma believed that vision is everything. Even when Alibaba was just a small team in a cramped apartment. Even when investors mocked him. Even when competitors laughed. He kept his eyes on the bigger picture. When others see obstacles, see opportunity. When others see limitations, see possibilities. When others are afraid, be brave. This mindset allowed him to navigate uncertainty and take bold risks. Seedling Scene 4. People over profits. One of Jack's most revolutionary philosophies was prioritizing people. Employees first. Customers second. Shareholders third. He said, "If you take care of your employees, they will take care of your customers. If you take care of your customers, the shareholders will follow." This approach built a loyal culture, inspired innovation, and helped Alibaba flourish in ways money alone never could. Waterwave Scene 5. Lifelong Learning. Jack Ma considered himself a perpetual student of life. He read constantly. He traveled extensively. He learned from failures, both his own and others. He emphasized that knowledge is not just about books or degrees. It's about curiosity, observation, and adaptability. The world is changing faster than textbooks. To survive, you must keep learning, evolving, and adapting. This philosophy allowed him to see opportunities before others and act decisively. Trophy Scene 6. Courage to Dream Big. Jack Ma's life demonstrates the power of dreaming big. From failing student to global CEO. From a small apartment to a multi-billion-dollar empire. From local teacher to global influencer. He often said, "You should dream bigger than anyone else thinks is reasonable. You should aim for the impossible. Only then can you achieve what others cannot." This mindset became the core lesson he shares with every aspiring entrepreneur. Sunrise Over Mountains Scene 7. Giving back and inspiring others. Jack Ma believes that true success comes with responsibility. He invested in education, created initiatives for entrepreneurship, supported environmental causes, mentored countless young leaders. He said, "Wealth is meaningless if it doesn't make the world a better place. Success is not about personal gain, it's about empowering others." His philosophy inspires millions to chase their dreams with purpose and compassion. Fire Scene 8. Wisdom for the Next Generation. Jack Ma's lessons can guide anyone who aspires to greatness. Embrace failure. It is the foundation of growth. Think long-term. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. Empower others. True leadership is service. Keep learning. Curiosity is the greatest asset. Dream fearlessly. The world belongs to those who dare. These principles are not just business strategies. They are life strategies, designed to help people rise above obstacles, doubts, and fear. Jack Ma's journey proves that courage outweighs talent, resilience outweighs opportunity, vision outweighs limitations. He transformed his failures into lessons, his dreams into empires, and his life into a global beacon of hope. Jack Ma's story is a reminder that anyone, anywhere, can rise above circumstances and create impact, as long as they never give up, always dream big, and use their journey to help others. The final chapter will celebrate Jack Ma's legacy and the ultimate message for dreamers worldwide. Glowing Star Scene 1. From humble beginnings to a global icon. Jack Ma's journey began in a small apartment in Hangzhou, China. A boy who failed countless exams. A young man rejected by every job. A dreamer laughed at by society. And yet, he refused to give up. From these humble beginnings, Jack Ma built Alibaba, Taobao, and a global empire. His life is proof that circumstances do not define you. Your determination does. Light bulb scene 2. The man behind the success. Jack Ma's influence goes beyond Alibaba. He became a symbol of resilience, a beacon for entrepreneurs worldwide, a living example that dreams can overcome any obstacle. He showed the world that failure is not fatal, that courage and persistence matter more than talent alone, that leadership is about empathy, not authority. Jack's philosophy resonates because it is human, relatable, and attainable. Fire Scene 3. Inspiring the next generation. Jack Ma didn't stop at business success. He focused on empowering others, mentoring young entrepreneurs, supporting education programs, encouraging women in business, teaching global audiences that entrepreneurship is a tool for change. He often said, "If you want to be successful, learn from failure, dream big, and help others succeed along the way." This is why his story inspires not only business leaders, but anyone with a dream. Seedling Scene 4. Overcoming challenges even at the top. Even after achieving immense success, Jack faced new challenges. Competition from global giants, rapid technological changes, political and economic uncertainties. Yet his mindset remained consistent. Stay humble, stay curious, and keep learning. The moment you think you know everything, the world leaves you behind. This continuous growth mindset is one of his most powerful lessons. Waterwave Scene 5. Wealth is a tool, not a goal. Jack Ma became one of the richest people in the world, but he always emphasized, wealth is a tool to create impact, not a trophy to show off. He reinvested in education, environmental initiatives, and entrepreneurship, showing the world that true success is measured by your impact on others. Trophy Scene 6. Lessons from Jack Ma's life. Jack Ma's life offers lessons for everyone. Persistence is everything. Failure is only temporary if you refuse to quit. Dream fearlessly. Dare to see what others cannot imagine. Empathy is power. Care for people, not just profits. Learning never ends. Curiosity fuels growth. Impact matters more than status. Use your success to elevate others. These principles are timeless and universal. They apply to business, life, education, and personal growth. Sunrise Over Mountain Scene 7. A legacy that transcends business. Jack Ma's story is not just about Alibaba or e-commerce. It's about resilience. It's about vision. It's about using your journey to inspire and empower. Millions of people around the world now believe in their dreams because of him. From the boy who failed at everything to the man who changed global commerce, his life shows us. No matter your circumstances, your dream matters, your persistence matters, and your actions can create change. Fire Scene 8. Final words of motivation. If you take one thing from Jack Ma's story, let it be this. Failures are stepping stones. Dreams are fuel for action. Empowering others creates lasting impact. Courage and persistence can defy the impossible. Jack Ma transformed his life, transformed a nation, and inspired the world. And so can you. I, Lady Hazelthorn, have shared with you the incredible journey of Jack Ma, a true lady legend in the world of business and inspiration. Remember, no matter how many times you fail or how many doors close in your face, your dreams are valid, your persistence is powerful, and your story can inspire the world. Stay with me for more amazing stories of lady legends. Support the channel by subscribing, liking, and leaving your thoughts in the comments. And if you have a favorite celebrity or dreamer, share it with me, and we will explore their journey together. Jack Ma's life is more than a story. It's a masterclass in resilience, vision, and impact. From a struggling student to a global icon, his story teaches: believe in the impossible. Never give up. Serve others while pursuing your dreams. Use failure as a launchpad for success. And now, his legacy lives in millions of dreamers worldwide. Thank you for joining me, Lady Hazelthorn, as we explored the incredible journey of Jack Ma, a true lady legend who turned failure into success, dreams into reality, and inspired millions around the world. If you found this story motivating and inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories of lady legends. Like this video to show your support, share it with your friends and family so they can be inspired too, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Tell me which celebrity or dreamer you want me to discuss next, and I'll bring their story to life just like this. Stay with me, keep dreaming, and remember, your story can inspire the world too.